Tonight, President Donald Trump is back at our nation's capital tonight after his first visit to Georgia this year that took place today. Hours ago, he was in Rome, stopping by the Varsity restaurant before speaking with workers at the Coosa Steel Corporation. The president's comments ranged from tariffs to last month's raid at an elections office in Fulton County. Atlanta News First Justin Berger reports tonight from Rome.
Now empty, hours ago, these streets were lined with supporters and detractors of President Donald Trump, hoping to catch a glimpse of him before he walked in the Varsity. President Donald Trump visited an Atlanta staple in Rome, the Varsity, across the street.
People were lined up, they had it barricaded like little gates all the way down the road.
A few miles away, Trump met with the Coosa Steel team before he gave his remarks on the economy. Tariffs top of mind.
Because the tariffs have really been a big difference.
It's been a game changer. We were competing with China. They had taken all of it. They were producing racks at $90 a piece. Our cost alone is $150. You've leveled it. The playing field's back.
And to think I have to be in the United States Supreme Court for many, many months waiting for a decision on tariffs. Without tariffs, this country would be in such trouble right now.
Trump covered many topics from tariffs to voter ID to Venezuela, but the visit was about his economy. President Trump told Georgians their incomes will increase $7,000 next year, and his plans will boost household take-home pay by over $10,000. The president, both at the Varsity and during his speech, brought up the ongoing saga surrounding the Fulton County election office raid.
They don't want them to see the ballot. They've taken the ballots. They have them now. After years, they got an order from the court, signed order from a very respected judge, and now they're trying to stop anybody from looking. You know why? Because they cheated like dogs.
Reporting from Rome in Floyd County, Justin Berger, Atlanta News First.